The RMT rope. Basically, this is like our most fundamental way to kind of get into the spiral dynamic and play around with figure eights. It's really non-threatening. Gives you a lot of the same sort of like learning and information that you get from like juggling and things like that. We do a lot of hand crossing, and it exposes you to the spiral dynamic and allows you to really play around with that coil that we just got into, basically, right? So now we're gonna be able to express it, right, through movement. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start setting some laws that are sort of gonna help with the learning process of the 4 fundamental skills of this, okay? So what we're gonna do is you're gonna place the rope, kind of like make an okay sign around these handles. And really the handles with, in Weck method, these are actually bearings. They're not meant to be like something you grab tight. I want it to slip through, almost like a speed rope, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll take just a neutral kind of posture here. If you wanna kind of park your head over your right foot a little bit, I'd be okay with that. But do what's comfortable. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start creating an underhand revolution. You don't wanna hold it tight, it might start making the rope sort of tangle out, right? We're really looking for as much free as possible. Very simple here, right? So this is an underhand revolution. This is where it can get tricky for some people. So what we're gonna do is, you can watch me at first, but basically I'm just gonna turn towards that bathroom, and you'll note the rope is still traveling in an underhand direction, right? So this is the cardinal law, right? I turn this way, and the rope is still technically traveling underhand, but the brain is gonna start perceiving it as an overhand revolution. Right, and that can really throw people off at first. So we just kind of come in here where it's real easy not to get tangled, and we're just going to start establishing this cardinal line, basically, right? So north is underhand, east is going to be same, and then that south is technically the same. So let's pop in. So we got that underhand revolution going. Again, you've introduced yourself to coil now, so you'll maybe start feeling that expression of that lat lightly, right? There you go. And then we'll just turn towards the restrooms here. Brother. And you'll note, again, the rope is still traveling the same line when he turns and faces out the door here. Excellent. The brain kind of freaks out a little bit, but you need the rope to sort of travel on the same line, right? And if you actually kind of pack down this left shoulder and think coil, it gets you longer, okay? So in the spiral dynamic, and in this royal coil, the long side is just as important as the short side or the coiled side, right? And if you're feeling awkward on the long side, it means you need to get deeper in that coil, right? It makes it make more sense. So let's go ahead and travel back. And it's fun because you'll start playing with them if they feel kind of awkward with any of these skills. The more you start to sort of apply the principles of locomotion, swinging, throwing, the better things feel, right?
So which lat should I be in right now?
Technically, it would be right,
okay.
Right? And then when you turn, it's going to change because now the right is going to become...
So then as I'm here, I should be...
Yeah, for the most part. It's really the sides will transition through fairly quickly, right? But there's definitely that spiral, and that gets into dragon roll. That's where we'll play around more, where you're gonna go from, you'll play around with both of them, right? Okay, so excellent. Let's do the other side just real quick. And the biggest thing is just don't overthink it. It's non-threatening. You're doing it right, and that's all that matters, okay? And we're just accumulating good repetition, right? So I got to work with a juggling coach for a long time, and it was Jeremy. I love Jeremy, right? So. That's a great coach, okay? But it's all about that, it's all about the good input, right? And putting in inputs. And so what we'll see here a little bit, I'm gonna get in here and coach you a little bit, you'll see the rope is actually not traveling on the line anymore, okay? It's deviated. So if this was north, directly north, it started to travel northwest a little bit, right? So that will throw off skills every time. And then see, this is the non-dominant side. So this is gonna be cool. I'll let it be with that, right? So big thing with what the rope will do, or any type of cordage. This is where it said, if you don't have an RMT rope, just pick up cordage. I think David used shoelaces for a long time. But what it's doing is kind of think of like the tin can, like you talk on the tin can and then it goes to the other side. So when we put this in both hands now, my dominant side is gonna lead the non-dominant and they're gonna educate each other. So I'm just like programming this non-dominant side to learn all this information and move better, right? And then when we get into some hand switch type stuff, it is going to borrow that same information now as the lead hand, and it's going to keep it moving well, right? And again, non-threatening, super simple, anybody can do it. It just taps into like untapped athleticism in somebody, right? That's what it did for me, for sure. So. we're going to take it off to the right side of the body. We're going to say that the right hand is going to be on top, the left is on bottom. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the left pinky, and the left pinky is basically going to draw this figure 8 in front of the body. Okay, so it's going to be the leader, the righty falls. So I'm here, I'm going to draw up. I've got this underhand figure 8 going on. Okay, and you'll notice I'm sort of doing that blade with my elbow, where that elbow is nice and high, right? It's a very tall position. That's playing with the vertical. If it doesn't happen right away, don't worry about it.
Can you show me one more?
Yes, so we're here, got the okay sign, right on top of left. We take left pinky as the leader here, and I'm going to slice vertically up, and I'm creating an underhand revolution on the north hand. And it's right into overhand. And you're going to cut up with left. Okay, boom.
And then
it's going to run that spiral, which is going to then put it on.
So when I get over to here, I'm not supposed to turn over?
Yep.
I am supposed to turn over?
Yeah, it'll turn it over. It's going to keep it running under. Think like you're throwing an underhand pitch every time.
So that it becomes...
Underhand pitch.
All right, so here.
Oh, we got rough non-dom here.
Yeah, dude.
Let's slice
it's
up.
tough.
Yeah, I'm going to use me as an example. Because sometimes the room isn't aggressive enough. You may like hurting people, obviously. So you're going to cut me in half, okay? Cut me in half on the bottom. Now, cut, cut, cut. It always works. Why do people want to hurt me? It doesn't make any sense. Nice, man. Feels better though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the underhand 8.
Okay.
This one is a little deeper expression of the coil, and you're going to feel more of the free upfront, right? So you'll already see the head bobbing head over foot, right? It's a great way to start associating with what we're going to do with like bipedal running and walking. Nice, bro. And we're creating that short and long side. So you see the shoulder, there's a long side and a short side, or coiled side, up side. You can steer it. It's a little harder to steer the rope on the non-dominant side, right? The left. Try to keep it on that line. Now let's go ahead and split the stance a little bit. So we'll take the right foot in front. Okay, and what I want you to, and we're going to turn the toes in a little. Okay, so this is going to put you on that poster over there, the green dots, right?
45.
So green dot, 4th, 5th metatarsal, right? So the most distal horn of your heel. Okay? You're going to kind of dump the bulk of your weight into the right leg. So into that right green dot, which is going to put your head over your right foot, right? We're going to start the same underhand revolution, and I want you to feel how this right lat is going to kick on a little more than the other side, right? You're probably still head over foot, but this side is going to be sort of your power side, okay? Let's get started. Boom, boom. Really emphasize that down to get the free up. So I want this to be powerful, and I want it to give you the rest of the motion for free. Hard part out of the way. We're going to turn face the other direction. So this is what your body wanted to do in the first place, right? So this is the overhand 8. Okay. We can. You want to turn? It's good to turn. We got to obey the laws. So we're going to do right on top of left still, but this time you're going to. We'll put the right foot in front a little. That seems to help you a little bit. And we'll do the left, or the right thumb is now the leader. So the right thumb is going to be thinking about drawing a figure 8. Hey, brother. Andrew, can we not have the, I know, I'm sorry, bro. Yes, sorry. That was good, right? Okay. Just
It's all good.
All right, yeah, so I'll restart. So we're going to do overhand 8 now.
Okay.
So we got right hand on top of left. Right thumb is going to be the leader. Got right foot in front. The head can go over the right foot there. And then I'm going to take that right thumb and I'm drawing a figure 8 in front of my body. And it just stays the leader. So the left hand is always behind. Right? It doesn't have to be fast.
And this, so there's that connection between the
Doesn't have to
wrists.
be connected. I'm showing that right now. It's going to separate. You'll see me and David where it gets a little fancier, right? So it's a good starting place.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
yeah,
say, I
so
like
that feels nice.
Yeah.
It feels nice. So let's just check it out. Right? This is so much easier. Your body was already doing this.
Okay.
Everybody picks this up instantly, right?
Well, now there's
It's
a lot of
overhand now. Overhand. That's why we turned, right? There we go. So again, if you were to, we're going to do this in a second. When you turn to face the other direction without changing the rope, it's underhand still. It's the same thing. Nice. Excellent. Much easier, right? Yeah. Okay. So this one, what will help with a little bit, actually help pull you down. Okay. It's like free down, right? So I do a lot of like reverse lunge variations with this that sort of will pull you into position. Okay. Excellent. Let's go. We're going to go from under to over. So this is now following that same cardinal law you just followed with one hand, but now we're going to make it a little more complicated, right? And more expressive. So both sides have to educate each other now. The long side has to help out the coiled side in order to get you back and forth efficiently. So we got right on top of left. We're going to start with that underhand figure eight where we were good. You're going to park it off to the right side and just kind of get a little propeller going there. And you're going to, as quickly as possible, get over to the north side here, or the overhand side. Okay? So I'm here, and then we're going to park it off to this side, turn, and then over here. So underhand, under to over. And we'll use sort of the east and west as like a transition period. So if you got to stay there for a second to let your brain sort of realize what's happening, awesome. If not, get out of it as soon as you can, all right?
Okay, so.
Yep, so we'll go right on top of left. We'll start with the right foot in front. That seemed to help a lot. We're going to start with that underhand revolution. I'll stand here to help you. Remember to cut me in half, right? So you're cutting me in half. Perfect. Whenever you're ready, you're just going to park it off to the right side and sort of run a propeller. There you go. So it's still traveling that cardinal line, right? You're going to turn towards the east here, and then we're going to turn towards the south. Boom, and look at it. It's an overhand revolution now. Now you're going to make it a figure eight. So you're going to draw with that thumb. So now you're cutting me in half from the top down. Yes. Easy cue, right?
Yeah, it really does help a lot.
Yeah, it just messed me up. Nice. Dude, perfect. And then we're going to park it off to that right side again. Nice. So it's running overhand. And then when we turn to face west, right, it's still running the same thing. And then you face north. And look at that. It's underhand. Now get that underhand eight. So slicing up. Yes. Awesome. Cool. And again, there's so much going on in your head right now, you know, but there's so much good stuff happening as a coach's eye right here. The head's bobbing back and forth. You're not thinking about that, right? Yeah, and this one specifically will make you feel the lat a little more, right? And you're moving really well in this, okay? When you first start, some people will be a little guarded and they'll kind of have that head in the middle still, and that's totally fine. It's a learning process, right? So you're just exposing yourself. Again, non-threatening, easy way to start getting into the spiral. Beautiful. Cool. Rest. And a great way to like assess people too a little bit, right? And we'll do a lot of this distal figure eight stuff. If like somebody had back surgery or something like that, like they still need to have like this. This is part of this like DNA, right? And if they're not able to like crank down on it yet, obviously, right? We're not going to do that. We can get out here and just start playing in the distal and creating that because that's still firing on the same kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice balance of relaxing at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and so this really for me has turned into the entry point to that world.
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
So Indian club, Bulgarian bag, mace, like all that stuff is so cool, and there's a reason everybody likes it, right? If you actually watch some of the flow stuff that people do, they're following the same line. Absolutely. Yeah, so like it can, I work with Mike Salemi. He was here for the last qualification, and we were messing around Bulgarian bags, and we were playing with that as like an education point, like how to teach some of those skills a little quicker, right?
Safer.
Yeah, well, and you got that, you got something that's like, again, non-threatening. That's the big thing. It's the non-threatening, so you can get thousands and thousands of reps in and just get good behavior, and it's in something that's rooted in all things, as we would say, right? Yeah, very cool. Yeah, dope. Awesome.